What's a memory from your childhood you thought was normal, but now you realize it wasn't? When I was a kid, we didn't have much money, so my dad always told me bedtime stories instead of buying me books. He had this big booming voice, and he'd make up the wildest stories about heroes, monsters, and treasure. I thought it was the best thing in the world. Every night, I'd crawl into bed and wait for Dad's story time. Sometimes, I'd even fake being tired early just so he'd come sit next to me and start talking. The room would be dark, except for the hum of the streetlight outside, and he'd lean down and whisper these tales like they were ancient secrets only. I could hear. The strange thing was, his stories always had the same theme. There was a little boy who didn't listen, who made too much noise, or who stayed awake when he was supposed to sleep. And in every story, that little boy would get taken away by some mysterious shadow or beast. At the time, I thought it was just a way to make the story scary, like a spooky fairy tale. So every night, I'd nod along, pretending to be brave. But sometimes, when I giggled too much or asked too many questions, Dad would stop the story cold. He'd lean in, his face serious, and say in that same low voice, "You don't want the shadow to come for you, do you?" I'd shake my head, cover myself with the blanket, and force myself to stay quiet until I fell asleep. I thought it was just a game. Now, as an adult, I realized those weren't bedtime stories. That was his way of keeping me silent so he could finally rest after a long day. The shadow wasn't some monster. It was just him warning me to shut up.